Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we've got a couple of bits of news kicking off the week in Raid Shadow Legends. Expecting it to be, apart from this, probably a pretty slow week because we're in the middle of a fusion, right? And that is going on, and we've got the Adventure Deck of Fate going on as well. So yeah, I'm expecting next week is when it's going to really kick off again. Fairly well timed for me, by the way. No CVC tomorrow. It is Siege tomorrow. I'm going off on holiday for a week. Lovely. But we've got some news before I go. And yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they start dropping some big, like, new event and stuff while I'm away. I could easily see that happening. I don't know. But I'll try to cover what I can while on holiday. Only gone for a week, so won't be too long. And I'm already recording videos. I'm going to actually have to change the schedule slightly due to the upcoming 15X. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I am working on videos, plenty of them, for while I'm gone. So, first up, this is here already. Let me actually find out, is there an event where you can get a free pull? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm looking at the event calendar. I'm not seeing any obvious fragments anywhere. While the supporter summon pool is active. I mean, they could easily come in. Like, you guys can see, this is the calendar. Maybe by the time you open it up, they'll have, like, another tournament or something will have popped in. But as of right now, unless it's hidden in the Deck of Fate, it might be hidden in the Deck of Fate. I'm going to do a second video doing some pulls for that. No, there's no. So yeah, I don't know. As of right now, there doesn't seem to be any way to get a free pull for this summon pool event. But we saw it last time. I did the video. You can see the last one. Last week, the week before, I did a video on this. When I recorded it, there was nothing on the calendar. By the time the video went out, a couple hours later, an event had magically appeared on the calendar, like starting that day or something. So yeah, who knows? As of right now, I don't see any way to get a free pull, but they could easily add an event after this. So just watch out for it. It's an interesting one. The supporter summon pool. All right, so there's no headline champion this time. It's all just stuff, but they're pretty good. I mean, there's a couple of, I think, weaker pulls here, but on the whole, very, very strong general summons. Let's look at the epics first, because, of course, 94% of the time you're getting one of the epics. It's a great selection of epics. Honestly, these are some of the best epics in the game. The weaker ones for me, Canelia, I think, is a little bit weaker, a little less useful. She obviously YST did a bunch of cool stuff with her, but I think she's quite a lot of work to make work for content that realistically you could probably just overpower these days with blessings and relics and better champions. I think she's a little bit weaker. I think Dexicos is kind of just Argonite's Faction Wars only. I don't see much use for him outside of that. Maybe slightly for increased defense, and you can get the blessing that reflects damage. Use that against Fire Knight, but you know, I think he's not as good as the others. The others now are all very good generalists. Galapo as well, he is a bit more of a budget champion for Faction Wars. He does have a good revive, Revives Unkillable, which is cool. And he does have healing and the small increase resist. I'd say he's sort of a Faction War champion. Probably good for some Curse City stages. The other champs are all very versatile. They're good in a ton of areas. Really, really strong. Highlights would be Deacon Armstrong, Stag Knight, Ugo or Thisbe for Hydra, both very good. Venomage for some poison stuff. Creodan for freeze for like Fire Knight Hard and wave control. Yeah, it's a great Mordecai for an accessible AoE burn. It's a great set of epics for the most part. The legendaries, likewise, I think are really good. Yeah, I mean, these are all great. Palace is in there. She's an amazing reviver. So is Hilvi. So is Venalicia. They're all really good. Duchess, I think, is a little bit weaker than those ones, but still really strong. She's Duchess. Makes your team super tanky. I think she's not... And Glaikid is there. I would prefer Glaikid over Duchess. Even Preva, it's arguable. But, I mean, it's small margins, really. They're all very strong. Prisma is the most interesting of these revivers. Is he or she... I think it's a he. He is a reviver, but very offensive. He's bringing in the big ally attack where the ally joining in ignores defense. He's got an offensive revive. He can be stunning stuff and transferring debuffs. Then he's turning buffs on enemies into debuffs, which is really cool. Yeah, really cool, but very offensive. You're getting like no survivability from him, but I think he's good, actually. And he opens up some interesting team compositions, particularly if you've got a support who is bringing some healing or whatever. So he's an interesting one to look at, but maybe a bit awkward to use. Whereas I think all these other revivers are all generally fantastic. I think Podrick is generally fantastic everywhere at the ally attack. He's bringing you healing, increased speed, debuff removal, turn meter boost, cooldown reduction, buffs for your damage dealers mainly, even for your supports. Great generalist. Lovely. Then we've got a couple here that I think... Oh, and Fabian. I forgot Fabian. What's there to say? Ridiculous. One of the best PvP legendaries in the entire game. Mad Hatter, very good generalist support with the ally attack as well. Bit more focused on Hydra because of the Hex, but still generally very good. I think these two are a bit more awkward to use. Zaharis, I pulled him recently. He is pretty cool. You get block debuffs, increased speed, and intercept on the target ally. But these are for your whole team on a 3-turn. Then he does have block buffs and block active skills, single target, but he buff spreads. He steals buffs from the enemies and buff spreads them to your team. So giving you good buff uptime. His A1 can debuff spread. It can even be 100% chance. So if you've got some ally attacks in there, he could spread the debuffs. Now, it might not spread the ones that you want unless you've got lots of ally attacks. It might be a bit random, but it is there as an option. And then he's got like a pretty interesting passive where he's increased accuracy at the start of the round. So setting you up with more accuracy for speed farming or for PvP, speed in all battles aura. He's pretty interesting. Again, he's a little like Prisma, perhaps a bit awkward to use, right? Your block debuffs champion is often going to be someone like a Python or an Elva or a Pallas, who's your sort of healer, reviver, debuff remover. Yeah, this guy, he brings in block debuffs, could couple up well with a reviver that, I mean, let's say could couple up well with him. He doesn't have, can revive your team, but he doesn't have block debuffs, right? That could be an interesting combo, perhaps. So you'd be looking at some of those more niche things. But he is there, a bit niche. And then I'm not too impressed with Pelagus, the Wave Walker. He is an arena speed champion, but he doesn't have hits apart from a triple hit A1. He feels quite niche. I think you could certainly use him. I think he's interesting, like anti-nice, potentially anti-predator, because he can put block passives and enfeeble on an enemy and steal all their turn meter. He puts that on for 2 turns. Like, you're fighting a nice, who is the last one left in his alternate form. Blocking passives and enfeebling him and stealing his turn meter is so strong. But yeah, and then he even puts in snare as well, stopping them from gaining turn meter. So he's a very nifty sort of anti-nice, but I think he's quite awkward. Like, if you build him really fast, you could end up easily going into a fight. You've got people in Stone Skin, people in Mercurial. You could try steal the Stone Skin, but it's a gamble. Or you could just A1 somebody into Total Guard, remove the Total Guard, but do nothing else. Quite awkward. So yeah, he's a weird one. He is weird. He does have AoE decreased speed and weaken, which is generally good almost everywhere. With the buff removal, it's cool. You'll use him. He'll be excellent for faction wars as well, of course. But he is certainly odd. So how do you use him? I'm not entirely sure. So he'd be the least exciting one to me. Whereas you get Pallas, you're like, oh wow, I opened up a bunch of Argonite ally attack strategies. She's amazing everywhere. Fabian, oh, insane. I didn't have Fabian. He's god tier for PvP, etc. I think it's a very good summon pool. No headliner, no big one to chase, but these are, apart from, I think, a couple of weaker ones, these are generally, most of them are extremely good, and the epics as well, extremely good. So if there is a pull, an earnable pull that is doable for you, might be worth considering, but it's going to depend on your resources. Now, we also have a summon event coming up, which appears to be just a random summon event in the middle of nowhere, I'm pretty sure. Let me bring this up again. Yeah, there's no, like, summon event on the calendar. Maybe that's what it's going to be, actually. Maybe they'll put in like a little summon rush or something that will just pop up tomorrow, and maybe that's what will give you a summon pool pull. I don't know. But anyway, there is a 15x. Yeah, happening just Tuesday 12th of May and Wednesday 13th of May. It's coming. So what do we have? We've got Ogres day 1. What's going on here? Why is my... Sometimes this is really odd. It's like the... There we go. I think the control button on my... I mean, it's working now. Yeah, it's a bit funny on my keyboard. That's not great. All my hardware failing recently. Of course, I've only had this stuff about a year. I guess I use it heavily, but still, I don't know, man. expected better. Anyway, we got Vizig, Grugtha, and I've done a video on her. I recorded it last week. I was planning to put it up while I was away on holiday. I guess I'll put it out right now. I'll give you my quick thoughts now, but you can watch the video to see for yourself. Kraz, he's the bomb fusion from last year. First Axe, Tuskor, Stock, and then we've got the Voids, Klazag, Togron, and Diamant. So right now, I would tell you, Vizig, good. Grugtha, maybe better. Equally good. Let's put them equally good. So I think those are the two best ones. Kraz, I'm medium on. Tuskor, I think is decent, but not too special. And Stock, I give a bigger tick to. But I'll be looking at these two as my premium picks here, to be honest. So Vizig, let's break them down. Vizig, he's the faction unity, only available during these particular events. He is a little bit lacking in areas in which to use him end game at the moment. He's fantastic, I will say. Kind of want Stock, but he is really good for Faction Wars Hard, which is very difficult. It's one of the hardest factions. He's a burner poisoner, right? AoE, HP burn, and 2 poisons. And then he can extend the debuffs by 1 turn on his A3 as well. And he can activate the poisons and burns on his A1. You're lacking areas to use him end game. End game players are already farming all the dungeons. He's not going to really help you much. But progressing through the game, like if you were progressing through the game and you got this guy, it would be insane. If they add more levels of hard mode dungeons and they make them more hard, this guy could be really strong. He could be quite cool. Or any bosses in the future. He is one to watch. He is an interesting one. His faction unity stuff is cool. He gives you more accuracy for your team. I think that's not super useful, to be honest. Like, you need to be placing burns and poisons. You get more accuracy. But, I mean, if you're running a burn and poison based team, surely you're going to have the accuracy anyway. I think that's not very useful. But this stuff down here is great. Burns and poisons do 30% more damage. Great for waves. Bosses, the damage is capped still, I think. You do more damage for H burn and poison on the target. Pretty interesting. I'd say there's a couple of champs can make use of it. Skrank, if you're running, we'll talk about her in a minute. If you're running someone like Grugtha alongside him, that's a huge damage boost for her because he's putting out 3 at least. Like, he's putting out 2 poisons and a burn. At least a 15% damage boost. Cool. And then poison and burns by allies can't be removed, stolen, or transferred. That's very strong. We're seeing more bosses these days that can remove these debuffs. Some of the waves in Faction Wars Hard can remove your debuffs, and you can just still kill them because they can't get rid of these. So very strong when you start stacking Arachne Elixirs for getting through the wave. So he's very cool. He also becomes an increased speed champ here. The debuff extension becomes stronger. He can also decrease your debuff, so it becomes basically a full cleanse. Becomes a massive heal with 3 faction allies as well. He's a great generalist. I like him a lot. He is a bit lacking in areas to use. Grugtha, I'll put my video on her out later today. She's a monster damage dealer. Like, I think this is a bit harsh, to be honest. I think she's much better than that. My testing of her, she hits really, really hard. She is a damage machine, an AoE damage machine. She reminds me a lot of, like, Thor. Just black, but she's ugly. Right? But reminding me a lot of Thor. Self-buffing a bit, but just blasting AoE damage like it's nobody's business. Like, really powerful. Tons of AoE damage. Not good against single target bosses. Okay, pretty decent against Hydra, actually. Good against Hydra, but bad against other bosses. Unless they're waves in the dungeon, like I tried her against the Dragon dungeon, and because she can kill the waves on the way, she like one-shots the waves, stacks her attack up with her A2 loads, and then blasts that. Like, she's sick. So I think Grugtha, I'm pretty impressed by her. I give Vizig, oh, sorry, wrong color. I'd be giving Vizig the 1. And Grugtha number 2 here for this day. Kraz, I don't think he's useful in PvP anymore. I just think with Total Guard, you're not running bombs, and he's not great at it anyway, so you're probably not running him. Main use for him, to be honest, there is a stage in Faction Wars Hard for Ogres. You need to kill enemies with bombs. He makes it really easy. He's also generally quite good for the Faction Wars for Ogres, so he is nice. Stock I like a lot. Stock is putting out poisons. If they're under burn, it's 3 poisons and a weaken instead of just 2. So he puts out 2 continuous heals on allies. Double hit, he can activate poisons and burns and can activate continuous heal on allies. Turn meter boosts you. He can extend poisons and burns. Poisons and burns ignore block damage, unkillable. He can destroy max HP. He is sick. He's a great champion. Really good. Again, a bit lacking in places to use him. And I would say, if you don't have Visig, you should get Visig instead of stock. Because you could pull stock from any shard at any time. Well, most shards. Not void shards, but any other shard, you can pull him at any time. Visig only available during certain events. I think a downside is they both really want each other, right? Visig brings the burn and some extra poisons and extending the poisons, activating them, and it's obviously all the passive faction unity stuff that makes stock better. Stock, because he's bringing in more poisons and weaken and even more damage boost, makes what Visig is doing better. They're a lovely combo, but you need both. I do use both. That's how I farm my I don't have the best team. Like, it's ridiculous. My team is basically Gear Grinder, Gear Grinder, Gurgo just to freeze, and then Visig and Stock who kill everything. I think Kroz is in there as well to help kill stuff down, block active skills on the waves getting to the boss. But he's not even that useful. It really is just Visig and Stock duoing the whole thing with a couple of supports to control the waves and try keep us alive a little bit. And I can do stage 21. It's a bit of a mess, but I can do it. Visig and Stock, heck of a combo. Who is the last one? Tuskor. Tuskor is decent. I think he's fairly unexceptional. Like, just a good generalist, right? Just big glass cannon. Hits really hard. When he gets extra turns, he goes crazy. So stack him up over a longer fight. I guess he does crazy damage for faction wars, stuff like that. I think he's just a really good damage dealer. But I think that the AoE blasting of Grugtha is just better, personally. But yeah, up to you. Tuskor is interesting. People like him quite a bit, I think. I'm not quite so high on him. I think he's a good damage dealer, but I would rather have Grugtha. So that's that day. We'll come back to the voids in a sec. Seachulk, Ugo, and Lorne. My votes for this. Ugo number 1, Seachulk number 2, and Lorne number 4. That's my ranking of them. Yeah, Ugo and Seachulk. Ugo is definitely the best one. The support. Seachulk is a good damage dealer who's bringing decreased defense. He is solid, but Ugo is generally more useful, more unique, harder to replace. But Seachulk is good. Lorne is very mediocre. I wouldn't care too much. Then these champs, Bolent, Nishak, Mighty Uko, Sun Wukong, and Gwendolyn. This is a weaker day, to be honest. I'll give a small recommend to Bolent. Nishak gets a small recommend as well. So does Uko. So does Sun Wukong. And I'll give a medium to Gwendolyn. I think they're all okay. I'm not as excited by Visig and maybe Grugtha because she's new. But I think Visig for me is maybe more exciting than some of these, which is spicy. But there you go. Let's look at the strengths of these characters so you can make your own decision. Let's look at Uko first. Uko is you know what? I should actually give a bigger tick to Uko. I'm doing it. Mighty Uko gets a bigger tick. I'm gonna put Mighty Uko number 1. He is a reviver for Skinwalkers, which is super useful. He's got a double hit. This was bugged against Total Guard. I'm not sure if they fixed it or not. They did confirm it was a bug. They did confirm they were going to change it. I'm not sure if it's happened yet. But yeah, he is supposed to be better at removing Total Guard than he is. AoE A1 as well. Can steal some buffs. Speed in all battles aura. Great generalist. Quite good in Mercurial. He should be good against Mercurial when and if the bug is fixed. Where this just wasn't removing the stacks. He wouldn't place the debuffs even if the Total Guard was gone either. But should be fixed. I think honestly he could do with a bit of a buff. They could just make each of these apply per hit or something. I kind of wish they'd give him a bit of quality of life because he's such a cool character and I'd like to see him stay even more relevant. But he is relevant still. He's very relevant and I would highly recommend him. Gwendolyn, useful for Chimera and for Fire Knight Hard, I'd say. Decrease speed leech, decrease accuracy. Triple hit A1 that can extend debuffs. A3 not quite as useful. AoE, increase accuracy. It gives you a trial for Chimera. That's about it. The damage isn't great. She can steal block debuffs. Very unusual. And her passive is cool where she get an extra turn. Gets some damage. She doesn't do great damage though. But mostly you're getting the decrease speed leech, decrease accuracy, increase accuracy for Chimera trials. Debuff extension is fantastic. Triple hit is great for Fire Knight. Very good for those two things. Decent champion. Usable. Not amazing, but good. Nishak. Bit of a not quite as useful anymore. Was god tier against Stone Skin. Not using him as much now because Mercurial is all over the place. But insane bomb. The best legendary bomb champion. the best legendary bomb champion. It's good, right? AoE, 2 bombs. They do bonus damage if enemies have, like, basically PvE. They do extra damage. Or I guess against a Nice, they do extra damage, which is cool. But it can be hard to have enough accuracy for Nices sometimes. AoE decrease attack, decrease bomb duration. A1, triple hit, can place bombs. Beautiful, simple. And then when bombs explode, he puts out poisons, which are protected. Lovely, lovely kit, so good. Because this skill gives you the extra turn guaranteed. So Cross has the problem. Cross places bombs, get loads of turn meter, but the enemy often gets to go before Cross can reduce the duration of the bombs. Not so with Nishak. AoE bombs, extra turn just happens. Another AoE, decrease the detonation timer. Sweet. He can actually hit pretty hard as well. Sometimes it can be a negative. He can hit so hard he'll trigger like a Rotus extra turn or something like that. Or a counter attack and get killed and he can't do his A2. Weird stuff can happen. Nishak is great. Problem is total guard stops your bombs and can be a really big issue. And supports that can remove debuffs or revive nearly always these days in total guard. And he just really can't hurt them. But I think he's cool. I like him a lot. But he's in a bit of a weird spot right now. He's good against several bosses, though, because that damage boost. Bolent, nice because he's a faction unity, right? AoE, double hit with stun. One faction ally, removes all buffs. So remove all buffs, stun. Cool. He can weak hit, but it's sort of like Odin. It's nice. You just don't get the decreased defense, but it's good. Decreased defense on his A2. Single target. After the initial target does the AoE, so if he kills them, it's bad. If he doesn't, it's fine. Does the AoE decrease defense again? You could be weak hitting with these, but there you are. And then his A1 is healing people, can give him an extra turn. He's all right. Makes multi-hit stronger. Fine. Chance to stun whenever an ally hits an enemy is really cool. Gives you some turn meter. Makes you stronger against enemies who are stunned. He gets turn meter for stunned places. He can ignore resistance. It's cool. He's got a cool aura. He's not really used in Arena. It's sort of his problem. He's useful in Siege, but he doesn't have a good aura for Siege, which is a bummer. That's life, really. Yeah, I mean, he's decent. He's cool. You've got some very strong champs, like Marius is the obvious partner for him. Yeah, he's a decent champ. You can only get him during these special events because he's a faction unity. I'd recommend him. I don't think he's particularly more useful than Nishak or Sun Wukong, and I might honestly go for them instead. Well, I'd probably go for him just because he's a faction unity and he's harder to get. But yeah, I'll put him second. But I mean, I'm going to put them joint second. I'll put Sun Wukong third. Sun Wukong, he's cool. Obviously, really good arena champ. Great aura. The A1, the A2. The problem again with this is the splash damage is ludicrously powerful. But a single stack of total guard blocks it entirely, which makes it difficult. There's also far more block revive champions in the game now than there were before. Still, he is the menace of early, mid, even late game arena. He's still viable, even end game, I'd say. Still very good. Can be a danger for sure. I just think he's not quite as strong as he was before. In a large part just because the power creep has been insane. And there's more counters to him than there have been before. But he is still very good. But yeah, I think the others are similarly good, to be honest. Both Narox, Bovos, I think it's a pretty rough batch over here. I think both would probably be my pick. Right, both number 1. I'd much rather Siege Hulk or Ugo. Narox number 2 for some control. Bovos is pretty shitty. Both is okay. He'd be my go-to. Wrong faction. He'd be my go-to here. Removing some debuffs gives you a bit of healing, increase accuracy. AoE decrease accuracy. Increase the duration of ally buffs is very cool. Heal reduction A1. Take less damage from poisons. He's pretty niche. Good against Nether Spider. He's okay. But yeah, I'm not too mad on these epics. Both would be the best one. Narox Springs, I think, is in control. And that's about it. Voids. Got some biggies. So, Plazag, yes. Togron, yes. Diamant, he's okay. I probably put Klazag 1, Togron 2nd. They're both great. What do we have day 2? Leorius, Tumesia, Karanar, Small Tick, Big M for Tumesia, Karanar, Small Ticks for those. These are the main ones for most people. Klazag, insane champ. Lydia style A2, decreased defense and weaken. AoE can't be resisted by bosses, so cannot fail. Decrease accuracy and decrease resist. So like Lydia, she has decreased defense, weaken, and then 2 buffs. He's got 2 additional debuffs instead. So much value in one move. Can't be resisted by bosses. Insane for Chimera. Then he also comes in with counterattack unkillable for 2 turns on your whole team with taunt on himself. Protected if there's a boss. Ridiculous. His A1 transfers all debuffs. True Fear's bosses. True Fear opens up some Chimera strategies as well. Enemy max HP damage when he places debuffs. Decent. Not great. He doesn't do crazy damage, but his utility is off the charts. He's insane. Extremely useful. Chimera Trial MVP. And then Togron. Great champ. Speed in all battles. Debuff removal. Turn meter boost. Increase accuracy. Then healing. Increase speed. Continuous heal. And block debuffs. Like, what? It's so much. So much. And then he's got buff spread on his A1. His passive is insane as well. More damage if you've less HP than the target. Even more damage, 10% more if you've less, 20% more if you've got more or greater than. And then he increases your max HP by 10% whenever they use an active skill. And also whenever he uses an active skill, gives you 50% more max HP to your entire team. Whenever an ally uses a skill, they get 50% more max HP as well, which is just crazy good. Crazy good. So you're getting huge survivability, loads of great buffs. Yep, he's got great base stats. He's a really solid Void Legendary. Good for a lot of that sort of boss fight stuff. He's even okay in Arena, to be honest. Not the best, but he's okay. Very, very strong boss fight champion. Great for faction wars, all that stuff. Any wave content. He's very cool. Diamant would be the weakest of these. He's fine. He's got some nifty stuff, like he's got the increase resist, strengthen, and then he extends the increase resist with turn meter boost. Not that many good increase resist champions. He's a bit of a hard sell, I would say, right now, because we just got Mavara for increase resist. He's okay. He is useful, Diamant, but I think he's a weaker Void Legendary personally. You can still maybe pick him up, but For the Skinwalkers, Leorius would be my favorite pick. He's just a damage dealer. Lots of AoEs. A double hit A1 as well. Unkillable self buff is useful. More damage as he drops low on life. I think he's an above average damage dealer in general, but I think he's one of the less exciting Void Legendaries these days, to be honest. I think he does fall off end game. Absolute monster. Early, mid, late game, though. Falls off a bit end game. He's still cool. He is cool. But, yeah. Tunisia she's okay. AoE burn with stun, potentially, or decreased speed. Bit of damage. She's mostly in there to empower Marius. That's her main use. She is decent, though. She's a decent overall generalist with, burns and crowd control, bit of damage. She's a decent, average enough champion. She's void, which is cool. She can burn through poison cloud, which is cool. Definitely worth keeping a copy and building her and using her every now and then. Mostly. This is huge for Krakens, though, to try +4 Marius, because Marius is busted beyond belief. And then Karanar's been buffed. I think he's all right. He's okay. AoE decreased attack, decreased defense. Got provoke, AoE provoke, self buffs. He actually does full debuff removal, block debuffs, increase defense to your whole team if Manaya is there. A1, some damage. He's cool. He counterattacks a lot. I think he's decent. He'd be fun to get. I think he is certainly viable with Manaya in certain PvP comps, actually, for Siege and Tag and stuff. But and boss fights probably as well. But you need Manaya. If you got Manaya, he's actually quite decent. To be honest with you, I'd probably pick, if I had the choice between getting Leorius or Karanar, I'd probably pick a Karanar. Probably. These days, because I have Manaya in 2026, I think I'd use Karanar more, to be honest. Hot take. There you go. You're welcome. Skrank and Maneater, both excellent. Really good. Let me do the different color. They're both really, really good. You want both. Hard to know who you would pick first, to be honest. Hard to know. Yeah, I'll give them both big ticks. I mean, Maneater, really good for Demon Lord, setting up your unkillable teams. Really good for Ice Golem as well. Get unkillable, block the freezes. Really nice. Skrank is just mini ninja, right? Epic ninja. Void Affinity, which is great. Does lots of damage. Brings burn. Weaken as well. Self buffs, increase attack. Very solid, epic damage dealer. Both really good. Akemptum, Weregran. Weregran sucks. He's definitely bad. And Akemptum's really good as well. Very unique with the poisons. He puts out Hex. Then he's placing poisons. Debuff spreading. But he makes poisons do splash damage, which is really cool. And it can actually trigger gear sets like Stun Set. and play stuns with the passive, turning poisons into like stun splashing things. Very cool. Very useful. So yeah, you've got 3 really good Void Epics in there. For me, overall, I would say this is not a great event to pull in. I do think day 1 is better. Like going for Vizig or Grugtha with Siege Hulk or Ugo is pretty appealing. I think Klazak and Togron with Skranker Maneater, again, those are really nice voids. So if you're close, if you're at Mercy, right, it's not a terrible time to pull, to be honest. They're all cool. Yeah, you got some good champs in there. Day 2, I'm much less enthused about. I'd be really happy to own all of these legendaries. I don't know if I'd be chasing them in 15x though, but I'd be happy to have them. So you can't go too far wrong. Even with these, you're definitely going to use them. You know, I'm going to promote Stock. I think I'm too harsh. Stock should be a green tick, bro. He is. I put him number 3. He is genuinely really good. The other 2 can be orange. But yeah, I think they're all useful legendaries. Like it's a decent set. I think Kraz. I don't have Tuskor, but I don't really mind. Don't really care. I've got Kraz. I feel like he's very expendable, very replaceable. I don't really need him apart from that one faction war stage, which he made not tear your hair out and want to kill yourself because you're trying to do it with Galcut type thing. But yeah, other than that, they're solid. The Epic's a bit more mixed. We got a few bad ones. For me, am I doing this event? Hell no. I'm skipping it, obviously. I'm doing the Fusion, and then I'm waiting for the next big event. We're due a big event. I'm sure there's going to be one coming at some point. I don't see why you would really pull for this too much. Main thing for me would be you're at Mercy, you've got Stock, and you're looking at a Vizig. You know, maybe take the gamble. Or you've got Vizig, but you want Stock. Maybe take the gamble. Or Grugtha seems cool. Maybe go for the gamble. I think for the Voids, Klazag and maybe Togron then as well. I would consider doing a 15x, you know, Mercy Void pull for those. But it's probably 2x Voids at the weekend, probably coming up, right? So again, if you're not at Mercy, just pulling the 2x Voids, bro. Right? Complete the Fusion, stockpile your Voids for something even better. There's no shortage of OP. Like, I mean, you seen the Void legendaries recently? Like, they're so OP. So yeah, but Klazag for me he's one of the big OP ones they've released recently, and definitely for a PvE focused player, insane champ. So let me know your thoughts on all of this. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Goodbye.